Hi, welcome back. And I'm glad that you linked onto the website and to share with me some of my thoughts on the economy and the people's budget. This summer, Congress created a joint select committee on deficit reduction. This so called super committee charged a select few in Congress to develop a strategy to solve our economic and debt problems. Solving these problems isn't easy, and it was made even more difficult when Republicans insisted that Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security for our grandparents, schools for our young, and every other indispensable social program must be gutted to pay for tax cuts for the rich. Predictably, the Super Committee failed to deliver a plan. In the wake of this failure, Congress cannot abdicate its responsibility to the American people. Unemployment, underemployment, foreclosures, stagnant wages, and skyrocketing healthcare costs are decimating the middle class and stifling business growth and innovation. To help in the short term, I'm fighting to make sure that unemployment benefits for nearly 3 million Americans are extended to preserve a payroll tax cut for the American worker. Congress can show leadership on these issues right now. Congress must also be able to be bold and groundbreaking in forging long-term solutions to the economic challenges facing America. This crucial moment in our nation's history demands it. Earlier this year, I began work on an ambitious plan to re-energize the American economy and eliminate our budget deficit in just 10 years, a plan inspired by the imagination and innovation of my home district, Silicon Valley. I work closely with leading economists, budget experts, and my Congressional Progressive Caucus colleagues. The results of many late nights of research and number crunching was the April 2011 unveiling of the People's Budget. The People's Budget would eliminate deficit, rescue working families, save Medicare and Medicaid, bring our troops home and end our addiction to oil, transform our nation's infrastructure, and guarantee that local governments and American industry can do what they do best, create jobs. Big dream, big innovation, and a big win. The People's Budget exposes as a fallacy the notion that the only way to balance the budget is to eviscerate our nation's social safety net. The People's Budget was then, and remains today, the only plan that balances the budget, eliminates the deficit, and achieves a budget surplus by 2021 without minimizing Medicaid, voucherizing Medicare, or privatizing Social Security, without gutting K-12 education, student loans, unemployment insurance, and scientific and medical research. Today, the American people are demanding that Washington focus on the urgent problem of economic inequality in America. The People's Budget was ahead of the curve on this issue. The plan's unveiling was an urgent call to close the economic opportunity gap in America. The People's Budget, first and foremost, is a fair deal for working families. The plan forges a fair tax code, asking the wealthiest individuals, oil companies raking in record profits, and Wall Street banks that gamble away our money to pay their fair share. The plan also reins in skyrocketing healthcare costs and makes crucial investments in public education, transportation, infrastructure, and R&D, all of which help reduce inequality. My solutions to America's middle-class crisis have been hailed by Jeffrey Sachs, widely considered to be the leading global economic advisor of his generation. Sachs wrote in the Washington Post and in the Huffington Post, Their people's budget plan is humane, responsible, and most of all, sensible, reflecting the true values of the American people and the real needs of the floundering economy. Budgets speak to just more than analysis and data. They testify to our values as a nation. All throughout this year, we have heard Republicans abandon our solemn duty to protect seniors. In contrast, the People's Budget guarantees their safety and security. Where Republicans' plans forget that the steel in the spine of the American economy was forged by the middle class, the People's Budget guarantees full access to the American dream for all. Where the Republican budget explodes our national debt, the people's budget creates a budget surplus by tackling the urgent problems facing our nation today to keep America exceptional tomorrow. That's what leadership looks like. That's what innovation looks like. That's what America's future must look like.